Hey kids, it's Papa. You ready to explore the Bible? All right, well, we are moving right along because there's a lot of stuff that we are skipping. We are skipping over a lot of the dietary law, the sacrificial law, the setting up the tabernacle, the moving, just a lot of things we're skipping over. And so it should surprise you that we're turning next to Numbers chapter 12. We've actually jumped all the way over Leviticus and much of Exodus, but turn to Numbers chapter 12. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. And in chapter 12, we read a sad story. We find that the children of Israel had complained and God had punished them, and he had actually used it as an opportunity to bless them by sending quail, and that's a whole nother story. But in Numbers chapter 12, we find that two people who should have been there supporting Moses and being there in his corner and helping him out, instead, they were complaining. And they were being kind of jerks. So in Numbers chapter 12, take a look. In verse 1 it says, "And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman that he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman." Now you remember his father-in-law's name was Jethro, and he was Ethiopian, and therefore his daughter was probably Ethiopian as well, and she was probably black. And so we find that, Moses had married this woman, and they had some kids, and this was the area where Miriam and Aaron decided to attack him on his family. And it seems like when Satan wants to attack us, many times he will attack us through our family. Don't ever be what Satan uses to attack the other members of your family. In other words, don't listen to Satan. Well, Aaron and Miriam listened to Satan, and they complained against Moses. Notice in verse 2 it says, "And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us?" And the Lord heard it. In other words, they were saying, listen, we are just as important as Moses. Well, yeah, we're all important to God. But when God anoints someone to be the leader, then they are the leader. Now, let me ask you this. Who's the leader in your home? Well, it's first and foremost your dad and your mom, okay? And that's just the way it is. You need to listen to them. You need to obey them. Do not ever backtalk with your parents. Well, that's what Miriam and Aaron did. And so we find that God had to judge them. Notice in verse 4 it says, "And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of cloud, and he stood in the door of the tabernacle. And he called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I am the Lord. I will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. And my servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall be beholden. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? In other words, he said, listen, I might speak to you through dreams or visions, but with Moses, I speak to him face to face. And that's very different. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. You say, why would God strike Miriam with leprosy? I'll tell you why. It's because she had lifted up her voice against God's servant Moses. Don't ever do that. Don't talk back to your parents. And by the way, there are other people in your life that God has established. Your pastor, your Sunday school teacher. These are people that you need to be careful not to speak ill against. Okay? In other words, If you think something negative about them, close your mouth, okay? Keep it to yourself. Better yet, don't even think about it. Because when God asks someone to do a job, he supports them and he helps them and he protects them even against other Christians. So, don't backtalk. So, you say, oh no, Miriam had leprosy. Well, God showed mercy and God cured her of the leprosy, but he said she still has to be outside the camp for the designated amount of days until she can be purified and then come back into the camp. And so all of the children of Israel just sat there in place until Miriam came back healed. Well, I guess we should learn something from this. What should we learn? Don't talk negatively about God's servants. Okay? All right. Very good. Hey, love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.